Today we are going to be in the historic downtown area of Kissimmee, Florida. Once again. Hi everybody and welcome to the World of Micah. Wanted to experiment a little bit today on this episode. Call it a blast from the past, probably way far back in the past for most of you, but I found some photographs online. Most of these photographs were public domain in the archives of Kissimmee, downtown historic Kissimmee area. And I wanted to travel around the downtown area and match up a few of these photographs that I found, and I figured I could bring you guys along for the ride. I'm a huge fan of history. I like finding photographs and then going to where that photo was taken and seeing what it looks like in present day, how much has changed, what still remains. It's almost like doing some time traveling, if you will. So today we're gonna travel around Kissimmee. I have about 4 different photographs. We're gonna see exactly what that area looked like from the photograph, and then fast forward to present day and see how much has changed. You guys are gonna get to tag along. It's gonna be fun. I think this is gonna be a fun new thing for the channel, and I can start traveling around to different cities, different areas, digging up some old photographs, and we can see exactly how much has changed. Before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It'll keep you updated with my latest video. If you would like to support my channel, please visit my Patreon page at patreon.com/World of Micah, where donating $1 a month can help fund episodes just like this. Now, let's take a closer look. And might I add, all these photographs from different eras. Nothing really is all in the same time frame. Just forewarning. So our first stop today is going to be on Church Street, right next to Broadway, here in the historic downtown area. Right down the street there, past that truck and the stop sign, is Broadway, one of the main streets, possibly the main street of historic downtown Kissimmee. But right over here is the old Methodist church. And I found a very, very old photograph of this Methodist church. Now this photograph was taken in the year 1910. That is correct, 1910. Now I'm going to place the photograph into the screen. You guys can see to the far left is the Methodist church. Pretty much nothing has changed in that Methodist church. The trees have grown up since 1910. And then to the right, there used to be 2 houses that sat right here in this area in 1910. Those houses have been removed, but you can see them in the photograph here. And now fast forward to the year 2020, you can see those new buildings for the First United Methodist Church. Those houses are long gone, but the main sanctuary, if you will, of the First United Methodist Church is still here. It's amazing, the architecture of it. Looks like something you would see in King Arthur's age, right? So there would have been a house right here, another house right here, and then that's the main building for the Methodist Church. So that means this church has been here since the year 1910. It's kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. Check out the stained glass windows on the side here and the old doors. Those are pretty old doors right there. You can hear the train whistle in the background. I love historic downtown Kissimmee. It's amazing. Not seeing any plaques for this church talking about when it was officially started or anything, but since the photo was taken in 1910, we know it's been here since then. Well, I did find a plaque right here. Now this says 1913. On the photograph I found, it stated 1910. So maybe this was something before it was the first Methodist church, and then it became the first Methodist church in 1913. Who knows? There's an old bell out here in the front. Look at that. That's amazing. There's no telling how old the bell is. All right, time to move to the next spot. And to be honest, I could not find this next spot for the longest time, but thankfully, because of this church and the top of the building, I was able to find out exactly where this photo was taken, because you can see the top of this church in the photograph in the distance. If it wasn't for the top of that building, I would have never found out where this photograph was taken. and I'll show you in just a bit. Now our next spot takes place right here, literally in the middle of the street in that median. There used to be a bandstand right there. Where that median is where this photograph was taken of the bandstand. Now this photograph was taken in the year 1915, and when I place the photograph in, you will be able to see the tip top of that Methodist church in the photograph. And here it is. Look to the far left, there's the top of the Methodist church, and then to the right in the center of the photograph, is the bandstand. There used to be a bandstand that sat right there in the middle of that median. People would come and listen to different bands play. Not the kind of bands you're probably thinking. These were big bands, orchestra bands. Think about horn section, a band leader, people sitting out in their Sunday best and enjoying the music. Probably did it on a Sunday afternoon, honestly. And now let's fast forward to the year 2020. You would not even be able to understand how hard this was to figure out. And the only reason I did is because of the Methodist church, the top of that church. Because everything right here is blocking everything that's in the distance of this photograph. Also, the only building you can really see is this building right here, I believe, that's in the photograph. And all along here were different benches, and the bandstand would have been right there. Now to the right of the bandstand, on the other side of the street, would have been the Gray Stone Hotel. Now it is a Morgan & Morgan and a few other buildings. The Gray Stone Motel would have been right over here, and I'll show you guys another photograph of the bandstand here in just a few minutes. And let me show you what I was talking about. So the bandstand was right there, and then in the photograph you could see the tip top of that. The church. That's how I figured out that was where the bandstand used to sit. Because the bandstand is long gone. There is nothing remaining of that. Now this is where this photograph would have been taken from 1920, around the year 1920. The bandstand right there in the middle of that median. And as you can see, there's a whole band inside the bandstand. Some kids are playing in the grass behind it. And there's a whole congregation of people sitting out listening to the band play. Now fast forward to the year 2020. As you can see, bandstand has been removed. And also where the Morgan & Morgan building is, that was the old Greystone Hotel. No longer exists. Nothing of it exists. But that was where it once stood, right over there. The Orange Blossom Hotel. This is the old hotel entrance right here. I'm gonna show you guys what this place looked like way back in the 60s. And pay attention to this little stand right here that says Broadway and Monument. You'll see this in the photograph. And also pay attention to that name, Shores. Shores Menswear, because you'll see that in the photograph as well. Right across the street is the Orange Blossom Hotel, and this photograph was taken in 1961. You can see the building pretty much looks the exact same as far as the shell. I love that you can see Shores Menswear on the door, but then along the little overhang they have there, it also says Shores Menswear. On the very tip top, the hotel sign has been removed. And also in the middle of the street was the red light signal that has been removed and put into a new spot, as well as the street lights. Street lights have been completely removed to a different spot. Now look to the far left of the photograph. You can see cars parked pointed towards the building. That little overhang over the door is still here. Now fast forward to the year 2020, and this is what it looks like. You can see in the middle of the street there, it's where the light used to be. It's been removed. But remember that little sign I showed you earlier, the little white sign that says Monument and Broadway? In the photograph, it was right in the middle of the street where the median is. And it's still here after all these years. It's just in a new spot. Kind of crazy. So basically, Shores sign is there. It used to say Shores Menswear right there. There was a light right here. The red light was here. that little sign of Broadway and Monument Avenue was right over here in that grass area, and then that overhang is still here because the cars used to park towards it. Just a little recap of what I was saying. Oh, and one more thing. Right up there is where the hotel sign used to sit. And I'll show you guys the photograph one more time so you can see exactly what I was talking about. Pretty incredible. 1961, and then the year 2020. So the next stop is going to be this building straight ahead, which used to be Broadway Pharmacy. Could not find dates. I'm going to point out some stuff that I want you guys to pay attention to, and then I will put the photograph over. Pay attention to that right there where my finger is pointing. It says Rivers 1915 on it. Pay attention also to the way that window looks right there. It almost looks like an upside down vase. Pay attention to the way this building looks and those two chimneys right there, the very tops of those, because in the photograph they look the exact same. I will enter the photograph right now. You guys can see not a whole lot has changed, but this used to be Broadway Pharmacy. You can see on the building it also had a drug sign letting you know this was the drug store here. And now let's fast forward back to the year 2020. Not a whole lot has really changed on these buildings. Few things have been updated, but for the most part, you can pick it out and tell that's exactly what that used to be. Pretty awesome, the Rivers 1915, and then this can be seen in this photograph as well. And then right below that, it used to have the same design right there, back when this was the Broadway Pharmacy. And the sign would have been somewhere around in this area, but it has been removed. Pretty incredible. All these photographs taken in this little tiny square of Broadway and Monument Avenue from different eras, and they tell a whole lot about this town. Well, you guys, I think we did it. I think we found all the spots I wanted to find down here in historic downtown Kissimmee. It's time to say goodbye, but if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a big thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, different cities, different towns, different eras, comment below and let me know. I think this is gonna be something pretty fun, something we can continue to do here on the channel. Not every episode will be like this, but it's something we can do at least once a week or twice a week. Kind of fun. I enjoy doing this, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this too. But I'll see you guys on a brand new episode tomorrow. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.